Oh, hi! Professional as always with my greetings. Welcome to FellowsTV Open Circuit. I am Maliv. I will be your primary commentator here today. I also have a co-commentator with me here today. Say hello, Kat.
Hello, Kat.
Yay!
I'm sorry, that was terrible.
It was wonderful. It was beautiful. How are you doing, love? How are you?
I've been alright, thank you. I've just kind of had a nice chill day for.
That's good. It's good to have chill days. It's good to have not stress. Not stress is very helpful, very beneficial. That said, we cannot say the same is the case for these players, as they've had quite a climb to get up into the top of these brackets here.
Yeah, the brackets look really stacked for everyone, so it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited to see the players who end up in the top 8 and see all the fights.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's going to be some very intense fights. I see some very regularly, very often, and just in smaller brackets, and this one much larger, and a lot of the people up here have had to fight through fire and flames to make it up. Our first match actually going to be Yada against Replicant. Just making sure everything is set up right now, so things aren't 100% ready to go, but they should be in just a few moments. Scat, who do you think's gonna take it?
As in this match or the whole tournament? Oh no!
Let's just make a call right here.
Oh, no.
Who's gonna take it?
I kind of want to go country bias and say either Rep. Who else is in the top? Iceman or someone like that. But in the actual tournament, going by previous records, my heart wants to say either Yatta or Ritha.
Those are some pretty solid picks. I got. I'm gonna stay unbiased. Well, I was the one that asked the question. I'm not going to answer the question because I love all these people. I can't choose. I don't know who to pick.
An arms player.
Hopefully somebody who plays arms in here. Fortunately, all 8 of these people, they play arms. So we're pretty good on that. Let's see. Just waiting for the go-ahead to let this go. I believe our first match is actually going to be in Sparring Ring. So I'm going to just hit this because if I have everything set up properly, players can just dive right in and we can start our first match. Talk about being on the ball. Let's get some fierce arms action going.
So we've got a Replicant with Lollipop and Yatta with Ribbon Girl.
Yatta sticking with the classic Ribbon Girl. Yatta just demonstrates so well how powerful Ribbon Girl is in this game. You don't see it too often, especially in the NA community, but in the EU, 2 of the best players in this scene play Ribbon Girl, and for good reason. Just look at her movement, just look at the way that she's able to dodge and weave between all these attacks. You really have to set yourself up to properly counter a Ribbon Girl. That's exactly what we've got Replicant going in with right now. He's got a Burchuck and the Hydra. Now the Burchuck, generally a wide-ranged arm, covers a lot of ground, especially if he jumps, it's able to catch a lot of Ribbon Girl's verticality. And the Hydra, as you can see, it's a 3-pronged attack. Comes straight out like a bullet, and it'll just chase people down and deal some feisty damage. starting off this round. Replicant already using his rush. Yada still ready with theirs. Replicant holding onto a light lead and is just looking to try to keep this pressure going to make sure that Yada cannot bring things back. Yada gonna get a quick grab combo in there though, and evens out the health relatively quickly. Oh gods, all of these just charged tri-bolts constantly connecting with Replicant, quickly bringing things into Yada's favor, and it looks like Replicant's gonna try to bait something out. He actually has a shield breaker if he goes for it. I think, oh, he's gonna go for it! It's gonna connect! 300 damage, and Replicant takes the first round.
That was a sneaky rush from Rep there for that to get the first round.
That was a very, very well set up rush. That was really impressive. He had to slip right between the rush, slip behind the side, and just kind of dove straight in once Yada started to slow down on his. Replicant switching over to the popper. Not going to cover the vertical as well, but still has a very solid vertical coverage. It's also got a nice horizontal coverage, allowing him to more effectively just catch a lot of Yada's general movement. This will be outboxed a little bit more though, so he's got to be careful of that. Oh, I did not fix it.
Yada going in for a successful rush for 220 damage against Replicant, getting an over 50% health lead. Or Replicant under. Yada widening the gap with a nice grab there, and Replicant freezing Yatta so he can corner him and get in a nice rush for 300. Both players almost even, however Replicant is pushing Yatta, keeping Yatta away to prevent him from fighting, really. And
ooh,
possibly going for a timeout, Replicant blocking, and Yatta getting enough chip damage to go for the round win.
Very important and very essential just rush there. Even though it didn't connect for any serious damage, the health pools were just close enough that a rush just on shield was more than enough to allow Yada to take that round. Now, the score 1-1. Yada does have a much harder mountain to climb though, as Replicant going to be able to start this match off with a very solid rush. That rush not gonna phase Yada though, as Yada is still not very far away from being able to bring things back, and quickly gets rush ready for themselves. Gets another solid stun in there, and is now just trying to find a way in, just casually throwing out throw after throw, just trying to bait Replicant into throwing out a little bit more of a risky play, so that Yada can take advantage of that with a very solid punish. Replicant though, playing very safely, very patiently. He's just not letting Yada in at all, and is continuing to get these wise little pokes, these clever little windows of opportunity for some solid damage. He's gonna take that rush though to the face, 310 damage. Still, Replicant only looking for one more hit to take Yada down. Yada having to do 25%. That's going to be more than enough, though, for Rep, as he's going to take the first round. That was a pretty solid first round.
That was honestly a really fun first round to watch because from previous experience when facing Ribbon Girls, a lot of the time they'll use the stage advantage to try and jump around and make it very hard for people to basically hit them. So to end up on Sparring Ring where a player like Yatta doesn't necessarily have that, it's very interesting to watch and see how they adapt.
Indeed. Alright, it looks like both players are doing their bans and everything right now. Replicant, yeah, he did a solid job there. He currently has the lead. This is a best of 5 to keep. It is good to keep in mind that that is what this is right now. So there's actually a decent amount of opportunity for Yada to bring this back even after that first round. I wonder if Yada's going to change anything. Oh, wait. Not best of 5. This is still best of 3. This is still best of 3. So, Yada needs to be able to take this round in order to bring the score to 1-1 and potentially get ahead or stay in the winner's bracket. This is the winner's side still, so that means that if, worst case scenario, if Yada ends up losing, if Yada is able to bring this back and take this round, the other player will still have a chance, as there's going to be, they still have at least the loser side to keep themselves going.
Both players sticking it out with Lollipop and Ribbon Girl. We're on Mausoleum this time, and Yatta's changed up his set for the Toaster and Popper instead of the Tribot.
Hopefully that helps him out a little bit. Starting off this match, yeah, that Popper might be able to catch Replicant a little bit better, but it's also going to be outboxed a lot more easily. That said, while the Popper does have the weakness of being easily outboxed by a lot of tools, it's also one of the best for just slipping between cracks and catching your opponent in so many little windows that they might not be fully ready for. And we're seeing that as both players are about even on health pool. Yada ready with the rush is just looking for a moment to go in and confirm it, but ends up getting caught by the shield. Replicant now ready with rush, is going to close in that distance, looking to start up heated pressure to try to take Yada down. Yada just trying to dodge out of the way, potentially set things up for a solid rush evasion, but isn't having too much with that, as Replicant just continue to focus those shots down until he sees that chance to dive in for another 270 damage. Yada needs a lot of damage, might not even be possible with the last 3 seconds left, and chooses just to go for that rush. Throws it out! But is not going to be able to connect as Replicant just dives right out of the way. Replicant now 1 round away from moving on in the brackets.
Both players for round 2 sticking with their previous arm sets.
They're pretty solid tools. Yada can definitely make the Popper and Toaster work. Just needs to start finding those opportunities to slip between that Birchup and that Hydra. Both of those are just causing Yada so much trouble.
Replicant going for a rush, however Yada completely dodging it.
Yada just trying to find an opportunity to get this rush to cement that health lead. Does get a quick catch with the Popper. Follows up with a charged one. And sees a moment to dive right in with that rush. And now has a substantial health lead. Yada just looking for a little bit more damage to take Replicant down. Replicant likely looking to get finished off pretty quickly here, as he's going to get his rush and now has a slight advantage in this potential final round. Starting off this next round, gonna come off with a very slight advantage on that first hit, and is going to successfully evade and block that rush. Now holding on to a extremely slight lead, but does have rush ready to just cement it ever so much if he finds that opportunity.
Yada going in for rush and manages to confirm on rep with 330 damage.
Replicant needing to start getting a lot more tempo going in his favor to bring this back. Does have rush coming up right away though, and that Burchuck does have the potential to get some ice chains going. If he's able to get anything going, it can easily turn the tides of this match immediately.
And the trampoline has opened up on Mausoleum, so I'm going to be interested to see how this affects play between both characters.
We already saw something too, as Replicant landed on that trampoline and ends up getting knocked down, just slowly brought out of the sky by Yada. All thanks to the trampoline. Alright, so now the score is 1-1. Both players have the potential to move on in the brackets and face off in the winner's final. Could go either way. It's anyone's game. But Yada definitely... Oh, go ahead.
Do you have any expectations for the next round?
Let's see. I'm probably gonna guess that... I'm guessing we're probably going to go to another... somewhere where Replicant can pull out that aggression a little bit more. Buster Beach, maybe? No, we're gonna... Oh, okay. It looks like we are going to be going to Via Dolce. Ah, right. Yada is... No. Yeah, Replicant's making the pick there. Yeah, so Via Dolce is probably a pretty solid pick. There's not too many dangers of the trampoline opening up. Yada's going to have to be a lot more up close and personal with this match, as there's going to be so little space to work with.
Via Dolce as a stage is very back and forth, so you can't really go around something. You have to go either forwards or away from it. So it's very good for aggressive players just to put someone in the corner.
Yeah, you really get... This is a stage where usually it's either one player or another who's just cornered. There's never a case where both are free generally, unless they're both playing extremely safely. Even then, usually one's pretty close to being cornered. Starting off this round, Replicant switching the Hydra over for a Biffler, just so he gets a little bit more faster boxing ability, a little bit better at punching things down. And he's got the Coolerate equipped as well.
Yada, however, sticking with the Popper, seems that he felt it was really good for the previous round, so decided to stick with it for this round, which seems to be showing because he's got a very strong health lead against Replicant, who is under 25% health, and probably only a couple hits away from getting the KO.
Replicant really struggling to find his way around this Popper against that Toaster, and it's just slowly punching him down. One more is going to connect, and Yada potentially just bringing this all the way back, and will be moving on to the winner's finals if he can find one more win.
Replicant switching it out to the Hydra for this round, and Yada staying with his usual combo. Yada having a nice slight advantage at the start there with a cheeky hit of the Popper straight on.
The Popper just continuing to poke Replicant down. In the uncharged state, it's actually really solid and reliable, just being able to throw out so many little pokes with it. A lot of players will just walk right into those hits, as they're usually, it just comes out so quickly and covers so much ground. Most people are not ready to have it just be in their presence, and they'll get caught by it time and time again.
Replicant having a health advantage at present, with Yatta having a rush advantage. However, Replicant slowly being able to use the knockdown of the Hydra to push Yatta away and get an advantage.
Replicant just looking for one more hit. That Hydra working out so much better than the Popper was, as it just stays 3 shots, whether it's an uncharged or a charged arm. And that's going to bring the score to 1-1. Whoever is able to take this will be moving on into the winner's final. Whoever gets knocked down from this will have to face off against another foe as they climb their way through the loser's side of this bracket. It's neither player wanting to lose this one. Both players going about even. Replicant going to see a window to dive in, get some heavy damage, but is going to get countered as Yada throws out a rush of his own, keeping the health pools very close. Only a slight difference between the two. Both players just continue.
Trying to go in for a cheeky grab there, however, Yada counters it and tries going for a grab of his own.
Neither player giving the other any quarter. Yada going to be the first to get rushed. Replicant immediately getting his as well. And now both just looking for an opportunity to go in and land it. If either gets their rush to land, that is probably going to be the KO. That is it! That is going to be it. Replicant tried to punch through that, but that glove just covered too much ground, prevented Replicant from having an opportunity to take that match. And Yada is going to walk away with the score there. Yada going to be moving on in the brackets. Replicant will be having to face off against another player. I believe he will have to face off against the winner of either Defer and Iceman. So I'll just have to see what happens with that. Our next match that we are going to have on stream is actually going to be Maxao versus Rafa. I don't think I have either of those on my friend list. Let me just see. But yeah, these two are actually pretty casual players at these days. They don't show up to too many events. Very, very solid players though, and as we're probably gonna see, solid enough to make both their way. Ah, excellent. We do have Max out still. Still make our way to top 8. Let's see. Do you remember much from either of these players, Kat?
I don't have much memory of Rafa, however I remember Maxo being a Ribbon Girl player and being quite terrifying to fight against.
Oh yeah! Speaking of Ribbon Girls in the EU side, the EU community, Maxell also a very prolific Ribbon Girl, able to just do some very dirty work and just has taken tournaments before. The EU really seems to like this floaty ribbon. And for good reason. Not seen as too high tier in the NA side, but that's just because we don't see too much of these fabulous players.
I don't know why, I've just seen like quite a few Ribbon Girls in the EU, because I know quite a few other players who aren't necessarily taking part today who also play Ribbon Girl.
Yeah, I wouldn't know specifically. Well, it's a lot of it is just different kinds of people are interested in different characters. I would guess, my guess is just Ribbon Girl appeals to a lot of the EU community a lot more than the NA one. Which I don't have a problem with. I'm just happy to see a lot of the characters in this game are extremely balanced and are usually in a pretty good state. Well enough that we get to see a lot of them just, you'll go to a different region and you'll see like a completely different cast of characters. Some that one side might look at and be like, oh no, those characters aren't that great. But then you'll look on this other side and it's like, oh no, this is the best character of the scene. it's very entertaining just to see how different cultures and communities work with all this stuff. Just waiting for the stage strikes to come out so we can get everything set up. I'm pretty sure Rafa was a Kid Cobra main, though I do feel like I recall seeing him play some other characters. I'm gonna expect Maxell is going to still be playing Ribbon Girl, judging by the badge. That would make sense. Who do you think Rafa's gonna go in with? I'm expecting Kid Cobra, but it's hard to say.
I honestly have no idea, so I'm just expecting anything.
Rafa made most characters. Yeah, he kind of did. He kind of did a lot. He played around with just everybody and everything. And yeah, so while bleh. Okay, so while this is the EU side of the ARM FellowsTV open circuit, there is also actually going to be another one coming up for the NA side. That one's actually going to be starting up not too long from here, and it's going to have some of the cool players from that side. Steelhead, Askew. We got players such as Resolve coming back. We've got 1010 Man. Actually, he's going to be there. But yeah, that's also going to be a pretty exciting and delightful event once that gets around. Ah! I accidentally punched my teeth in with my glass.
Please don't punch your teeth.
I was thirsty for tea, and my mug just wanted to punch me in the face, apparently. Ah. That doesn't feel good. I don't recommend punching your teeth in with a glass.
I don't think punching yourself in general is a good idea. I mean, keep the punches for the games, guys.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. It's probably good to not punch yourself, usually, in general. It's more so if there's things like clapbacks around. Those really do not help.
Maybe your glass is secretly a clapback.
Oh no! I mean, I guess technically that could be true, because, well, I didn't technically punch the glass and punch myself back in response. Clapback does hold the property to kind of just charge it. It's kind of able to just punch you in the face regardless. So, Clapback could have just chased me down with that. It punched me. I got punched by my own Clapback.
In the form of a glass.
I don't think you can ever punch yourself with a clapback. Oh no. Oh no, I forgot how arms works. Wait, okay, so, yeah, if you've got a clapback, and they've got a clapback, and you hit the clapback on their clapback, that just makes your clapback jaw. Or does it chase? That's probably a discussion we could worry about another time, as we've got ourselves a match all set and ready to go. Rafa will be facing off against Maxell. Maxell going in with the Roaster Popper Slamamander. Rafa gonna start off with a Popper Slamamander Burchuck, so both actually have very similar loadouts here beyond one slight adjustment. This kind of actually makes sense too, because while Kid Cobra and Ribbon Girl play very differently, there are a lot of smaller details to them that allow them to kind of play with the same tools. Burchuck works well on both of these characters, Popper works well on pretty much any character, and the Slapamander, the hot slaps itself, that thing works. Again, it's a really solid just general character pick, and it's good for just general pressure play. Like Maxa. Maxa? Oh, okay. Starting off this first round, Maxa holding on to a slight lead here, just safely applying a bunch of little pokes, lots of little slaps, and is just looking for a potential confirm with that popper to get rush. Rafa also ready with a pretty solid combo loadout to get a rush if he can find the opportunity, but he's just really struggling to find that chance as these pokes in from the popper and the Mander are just giving Rafa so little time to work with.
Both players activating rush and Maxwell being able to punch through and win the first match of round 1.
That Mander just slipping right through that popper and is going to give Maxa the first round. Rafa gonna start off strong though, quickly gets a quick cheat freeze and a comp knockdown with his loadout and has a very slight lead, which is very important for the first, as the first hit just kind of determines a lot of how the initial pressure is going to be. As now Rafa gets to play a little bit more safely, he gets to play a little more, focus his shots a little bit more. He doesn't have to be as worried about the pressure. He doesn't have to be so worried about trying to catch Maxa. And it's working out very well for him as Rafa has a massive health lead here. Maxa ready to go in with rush, likely going to hold on to it as this, unless they can bring it back all the way from that loss, it would probably be an unwise rush to use, but just slowly starting to bring things back, sees that window to go in, and is now looking for one more hit, completely reversing this round, and is soon to potentially KO if Rafa is not able to find one more hit. Rafa charging up that rush, now has it ready. Might not be a shield breaker loadout, but that's going to do a lot of shield damage and can easily catch Maxa if he just finds the chance.
Rafa going for the rush and gets
caught by the grab! Oh god.
That was a crazy comeback.
I was
not expecting that grab at the end there.
That just kind of slipped right out between the cracks. You know Rafa wasn't ready for that either with just how hard that hit. Now, Maxa with a score of 1. Rafa's going to need to be able to take this. Like Max, not Max out.
Are you sure you mean Max? Oh, that was a crazy comeback.
Oh, that was a crazy comeback. That is a true. That is a big true. Just looking for the next stage pick. Rafa's gonna really need to pick a good stage for this, as if he's not able to bring this back, he is going to be knocked out of the tournament here. Maxa likely wanting just to get a solid follow-up from there. I'm expecting Maxa to stick with their loadout. Where would Rafa want to go? Both characters, I'd expect both characters kind of want the same things. And Spartan really just ended up not working out for him. Go ahead.
Both characters, from my experience, seem to like to have quite a bit of movement, so it's really hard to say, because it's like, well, if you want a movement-based stage, the other players bring to want a movement-based stage.
Yeah, I guess we're going to be going to a sparring ring once again. Rafa going to try to bring things back. Maybe find a way to make the stage work a little bit more in his favor. As he's got a nice pick there, doing a solid adjustment with that lockjaw in tow, ready to bring it out if he needs it. He's going to start off with the popper. Burchuk, though, maybe hoping that Maxa sees that lockjaw, expects a counter pick, and tries to adjust accordingly, but chooses to stick with the popper, slap Amander, it's just been working out very well for them. No reason to swap it out.
Rafa getting a nice lead at the start there, with a few solid hits of the popper and the chip.
Rafa following up with a couple of solid charged poppers. Not going to be able to land the rush beyond shield chip damage, but does get the breaker off of it. Gets caught by another grab. These things just come right out of blindside. Oh, a very solid evasion from Rafa's side, allowing him to get out of the hair of that very, very scary rush. Maxa would very likely be in a much stronger position here if that landed, but Rafa being able to dodge out of the way gave him so much more space and gave him that glorious window to get that punish in, bringing the score to 1-1. Starting off this next round, Rafa going to be the first to get hit. Does have rush ready though, and will be wanting to try to find a window. Sees that landing and is going to capitalize on it with 255 damage. That's not going to be enough. As Maxa does have... Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, Maxo now having rush, probably waiting for an opportunity to sneak in and hit Rafa for that rush.
Sees another opportunity for a grab. Even with that rush, that was not enough for Rafa, as he's going to get caught by one more grab, leaping right into that. And now, Maxa looking for one more round to be able to move on in the brackets. Rafa going to have to take him down here if he wants to keep fighting.
Maxo starting off with a strong advantage, being able to get a nice grab in at the start of the round, but also having rush advantage right at the beginning of the match.
Oh, loses the rush to a popper poke. And Rafa quickly charging up another rush of his own, but getting caught by those cheeky hot slaps. Rafa dodging and weaving his way through all these attacks just to try to find his way in, get some more pressure, and is now ready to use rush. He sees the confirm and is going to take it, getting 295 damage, and is now in a mild health lead. Just a little bit more damage and he's going to be able to take Max out down. One more shot. Has to be careful though, because those Manders keep reaching in where he is not expecting and is constantly taking his health pool down. But he's going to find his way through and brings the score to 1-1. Just a reminder to anybody viewing these matches, this event right here, right now, if you see anything cool, you see anything maybe a little exciting, don't be afraid to clip it. It does help this channel out, does help the players out. You gotta showcase how amazing, how cool some of these people are, what they're able to do, and just generally helps the scene grow. So be sure you're making some cool clips, be sure to share them. Thumbs up. It's nice.
Also, if there's anything funny, clip any funny stuff as well.
Oh god, you know if it's something funny, it's gonna be from one of us.
Probably.
Much regrets will be had, but 'tis show business, eh? What more could anybody ask for than for one of us to say something really silly and have it become viral? Alright, stage bands have been selected and the stage options are now available, and it's going to be Via Dolce being the next stage that we will face off on.
Via Dolce for me seems like a very interesting pick, since I noticed that Rafa was being quite aggressive towards Max. I just realised that sounds really horrible out of context. But in fighting style, Rafa was being quite aggressive, so a stage like Via Dolce very much complements this.
Heading into what likely will be the final round. Rafa, both players just gonna stick with their loadouts. Slight adjustments here and there to their additional tools, but this is what's been working out for them. There's no reason for them to change beyond. Maxo picking a pretty aggressive stage. This is the second time we're seeing Via Dolce has that narrow pathway. It's really difficult for anybody to really find the room. Kid Cobra definitely does not like it, as he's got those huge wide leaps that he tends to take. Ribbon Girl, if floating around a little too much, can easily be caught as well due to the stage's design. So again, this is a pretty tough pick for either player. I could see this working out a little bit better for Ribbon Girl though. That is what we're seeing right now, as Mexa just looking for a little bit more damage to take Rafa down. Once Rafa's got Maxa locked down though into the corner, this is a very scary place, as that high girth and just the pressure that Kid Cobra is capable of applying is extremely difficult for a Ribbon Girl to get out of the way of from, especially at such a close range.
Rafa's slowly closing the gap between both players' health leads and making it fairly even. However, Maxo now has his rush ready and available, so can easily take the game if Rafa did not go for a lovely grab there.
The sneaky dodge! He just he moved to the left, baited out a grab on that side, and dived right back and went for a beautiful punish there. Just full of cleverness.
Going on to round 2, both players sticking with their current arms. Maxo tried to go for a rush at the beginning there, however was cancelled out by a popper.
And is going to quickly get knocked into the corner. Rafa knowing what he needs to do, and he's looking to try to bring it back through the use of these tight, narrow hallways. Just limiting Maxa's opportunity to move in anyway, as also, if he's in the advantage state, he's got a height advantage too, which allows him to more effectively keep track of Maxa, and is going to allow him to bring it back and take this game by storm. Rafa doing it. That was incredible. That was a very solid comeback right there. Well, that wasn't a comeback anymore. He just started steam plowing. A very impressive steam plow, if I would say so myself.
There's something I've noticed with Rafa's play through the previous couple matches, is that he'll start off kind of wobbly, but once he kind of gets into it, then he really gets into it and can easily steam plow and just knock people out.
Just really iron out that ribbon so it's nice and straight and ready for him to curl up a new gift. A new gift that he will bestow upon his next opponents.
The gift of pain.
Yes. Oh god, I can't even keep a straight face with these bad jokes. These setups and this humor. I can't even keep up. I need to work on my poker face so that we can set up these jokes, we can deliver them, and then we can just keep going without having me just start giggling like a child over the fact that we just did that.
See, this is the power of just using push to talk. So it makes me seem like I'm being kind of calm and professional, but in reality, you're probably talking about something and I'm probably choking on a cup of tea.
It is good. I'm practicing for offline. This way. I've already accepted that everything. I'm gonna make a fool of myself one way or another. So it's why not just get used to it so that when it does come up offline, I can just be schmoove and I can be Shanin and can have a rockin' good time.
Good enough practice, I'd say. Speaking of practice, I hope these two players have had their practice with Defer going for Max Brass with the Roaster and Nade combo, with Iceman going for Min Min with the Ice Dragon and Sparky.
Starting off, Iceman just applying some very solid pressure. Getting a lot of pokes in there, lots of grab combos, and is holding onto a massive health lead. Just keeping that pressure rolling. Defer really struggling to find his way through, especially with that big bulky body of Max Brass. He's really struggling to keep up here, and he's going to quickly get sniped down, and that's going to be our first perfect of the stream.
Oh my!
just right out of the gates.
Iceman's not taking any prisoners today.
He's got better things to do. He's in it to win it. For trying to find his way in that Ice Dragon, once you understand how to position it, how to aim it, or set it up with a lot of characters, it's extremely dominant. And we're seeing a lot of that in this round as Iceman just continue to get these snipes, these pokes, and complementing it with the Sparky just means he's got so many solid opportunities to get pressure, get rewarded for his setups, and just continue to bring himself into dominant positions. Now looking for one more hit to take Defer down, and that's going to be a quick, sneaky little poke.
Iceman just obliterating Defer there.
That was a rough match for Defer. Defer likely gonna pick. I'm guessing he's gonna want to try to find a smaller stage. Buster Beach if that's available. I'm guessing Via Dolce might be an option. Sparring Ring might be a good pick. I'm expecting a lighter character too from him. Something that just allows him to quickly more get out of the way of that pressure and find his way in.
I'm curious to see as well if he decides to change character for the next match, simply due to the fact that if he maybe chooses like a small, a character with less sort of size, then there isn't that, he's not as big as a target, sitting like Max Brass.
Yeah, having a character much like Springman's size here, that's going to help Defer a decent amount. As well, it's solid for when you've cornered your opponent. If your opponent is just out in the open and getting all of these little shots in there, you probably want to be making sure that you just aren't getting caught by them. Starting things off, Iceman going to find a quick opportunity to get that Sparky Dragon arm charged up. But Defer going to utilize that roaster he's got equipped now to quickly knock Iceman down. Is going to hold on to a little bit of an opportunity to try to take the lead here. Gets a stun, he's going to follow up with the grab, and Defer now holding on to a slight health lead. The smaller size and the higher speed is really helping Defer in this round now, as he's just able to get out of the way of so many of these attacks.
The Thunderbird also complementing his playstyle, since he's able to like move around and sneak around this Thunderbird to try and catch Iceman off guard.
It's really helping him out here. And also not having to worry about buffing up as Brass. It's just allowing him to play a lot more aggressively, keep up that tempo, as he just really needs to keep himself moving around, diving between these attacks. And that's going to give him a very solid first round. Quite a turnaround from the Temple Grounds.
Both players starting off with Rush, and Iceman going in for a 325 Rush off the bat.
Defer now trying to close in the distance, get some pressure going, utilize the scare tactics of the rush, the safe deflect. Iceman is not having any of it though, and is just continuing to try to punch Defer down, throwing out that Chakram, throwing the Spurky, and just trying to catch him off guard, force something out of him. Both players very close to each other in terms of health, but Defer still has his rush ready. Iceman though quickly getting another rush ready, and just needs a shield breaker might actually be enough. Goes in for a pretty smart grab, but Defer dodging right out of the way. Does get caught out as that Sparky catches that dash, trying to escape out of the Hot Pocket.
Going to the final round, Iceman sticking with the Sparky Chakram combo from the previous round. I personally feel like that's helped him out a lot for this round since he's not having to wait such as long time for the Ice Dragon to charge and then fire its laser.
It's definitely helping him out, and it's allowing him to get a lot better grab opportunities. It's boxing a lot better with the arms that Defer has. It also has a much stronger rush, just allowing him to punish a lot of these actions that Defer's throwing out, getting some quick damage in there. As the Ice Dragon really needs Iceman to just, or Defer to be in a single place for it to really connect, where Springman is just so much harder to keep up with the Max Brass.
That was a nice dodge grab that dodge from Iceman there.
It was a pretty solid one. Iceman able just to slip out of the way. He's getting out of a lot of these hairy positions that look really difficult to get out of the way of. That's going to be a solid rush punish coming in from Iceman. Just more than ready.
Damage. And Defer's in the Hot Pocket there.
He is going to quickly find his way out, utilizing that deflect, just kind of forcing Iceman to punch into one of these attacks. Now Defer holding onto a very light lead here, confirms it with that roaster, and as long as he doesn't get stun grab comboed, he is going to be able to make it out with this first round, with his first round.
Oh yeah! Woohoo!
The Screamdown worked out really well there. I'm expecting Iceman's probably going to want to pick a much more open space again. Somewhere where he's got a lot more room to work with. A place like Scrapyard would be a very solid pick.
Do you reckon we might see a character change from Iceman as well, since he's quite well known for being able to play many characters such as Min Min and Ribbon Girl, for instance? Speak of
Looks like we're... Speak of the Ribbon herself appears!
Iceman going in with his Ribbon Bomber loadout, using a lot of very explosive arms.
If we're gonna put it on that tribal, it's been a good tool for him to catch a lot of the horizontal movement of Ribbon Girl. Especially alongside the roaster, he's made it work very well in these matchups before. But this is also a very explosive loadout, and if Defer was getting too comfortable utilizing his deflects, this loadout can easily catch him time and time again, and might allow Iceman just to get this massive health lead. Both players just trading back and forth, neither getting too solid of a lead. Iceman ready with a rush, one of the strongest rushes in this game, utilizing the nade and the Seeki's high damage.
Defer being quite defensive there, using quite a bit of pillar play. However, something tells me that pillar won't be lasting too much longer.
Defer wasn't gonna potentially not last too much longer as his shield was weakened. Iceman was not able to capitalize on it, but sees a nice moment to go in for rush, gets 310, does not get the damage he was needing to finish Defer off though. And now Defer is enraged in comeback mode. He's gonna throw out a lot more attacks, focus a lot less on that deflect, and just make sure he's getting as much damage out there as possible to take Iceman out, and is now ready for a rush if he just sees that opportunity.
However, Iceman refuses that opportunity with a nade punch, giving him the KO.
For just not ready for that thing to catch him like that. And now going into this next round, Iceman almost ready with another rush. And both players very close to health pool, so not holding on to too much of a lead here. Does start off with a nice, powerful rush, coming in for 305 damage.
Iceman still has his rush ready and available and uses it for 440 damage.
And immediately turns the match back into his favor. A slight one, but it's still an advantage nonetheless. And actually, Iceman now capable, if he just focused on building up rush, could easily take Defer down. Gets a stun, is not going to be able to follow up with anything. But Defer now, in very critical levels, can't take much more and has a decent amount of work to do to take Iceman down. Especially with Iceman being ready with this rush.
I'm not envying Defer right now in his position. Iceman going in for the rush and going in for the KO. And I believe that gives him the round win.
That gives him the set, and that's going to allow Iceman to move on in the brackets. Defer getting knocked out. A very close match. Tried to go in for that punish. He really needed that evade, but he just was not going to be able to get it to work out for him. Now Defer Now Iceman going to have to move on in the brackets and face off right away against his next opponent, who will be Replicant.
An all UK fight that match, it seems.
Yes. It's going to be a pretty exciting match here. Alright, Defer. Oh, I think we... Hey! He almost... Defer almost had an opportunity. He went in for the punish. He saw that rush come out. He was like, I'm going to dodge out of the way, try to set myself up for a nice counter opportunity, and just ended up not having it work out as that rush. He couldn't dodge out of the way soon enough. The nades connected, and then Dasuki just kind of follows up, and boom, he's down. There's very little you can do when you're just pinned out like that. Next matchup. So yeah, our next matchup going to be Replicant getting knocked out by Yada. Still has a chance in these brackets. Is going to have a tough opponent though, as he's going to have to face off against Iceman. We just saw Iceman. He's a scary man. He's very scary.
He is really scary. One of the things that really excites me about Iceman's play is that he can just seem to pick up most characters and be able to play them to a high level, so you never really know what he's going to pick and choose.
Yeah, he could just go with anything if he really wanted to.
I mean, for all we know, he could be playing with the random button.
Oh gods, are we having that going on again?
I don't think so, but you never know.
There's so many people. Rifa does that. I know for a fact that he does that sometimes. Actually, yeah, EU actually is kind of popular with that. I think Replicant has been able to get away with doing that too at times.
There's quite a few players I know of in the EU who can seem to pick up quite a few characters and be able to play them to quite a high level, so it's always fun to watch, in my opinion.
You know, I should get into the habit of doing that. I just need to find a good loadout for each character so that I can be like,
For me personally,
No,
a good loadout for each character is the exact same loadout.
yes. Alright, so we're going to be heading over actually to do the match Yada versus Rifa for the winners finals. And that first stage is going to be here. So, very little needs to be said about these two masters of arms. Rifa, extremely evasive, extremely difficult to catch. Just a master of the art of Ninjara and so many other characters. Yada floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee, the way of the ribbon. Just actually does stay a little bit more grounded though, which does allow Yada to be more effective at certain matchups. We're gonna see if that works out well in his favor this time though, as it can very easily go either way.
Yeah, in all honesty, I don't really have any solid bets as to who I think could potentially take this round.
Yeah, it's genuinely hard to say.
I mean, in all honesty, most of these matchups is really hard to kind of pinpoint and be like, oh yeah, that guy's gonna win or that guy's gonna win.
Even then, it's like you can look at a lot of these matchups. You're like, to my knowledge, like this player is sometimes generally better, but even at this point, this far in, like arguably all of these characters could make it to grand finals and win. Everybody here more than has the ability to. This one is actually going to be a best of 5 if I am not mistaken. So we're going to be here for the long haul. This is going to be an exciting matchup. Yada versus Rifa.
Rifa going for Ice Dragon Tri-Blast Ninjara and Yada going for Tri-Bolt Toaster Ribbon Girl.
Starting things off, both players going back and forth, trading about even. Rifa trying to find some pokes and start getting some momentum with that Ice Dragon. But he's constantly getting poked down by that Tri-Bolt. Just both of them doing a very solid job of just poking back and forth, catching each other's movements, trading here and there with Charge Blow uncharged, and are now ready with Rush. Yada's Rush being very advantage in this case, as he's going to have a very easy time boxing down Rifa. He's going to connect with his Rush too for 230 damage. Rifa just trying to find his way in to get some pressure, get some damage. Ends up getting the first hit of the Rush, but that Tri-Blast, the Tri-Rush, just has such a wide curve to it that a lot of cases it just will not hold on to the opponents.
Rifa on the Magic Pixel right now with 25 seconds left on the clock. Do you reckon there's still a possibility he could turn it around?
It's Rifa, everything's possible. But it's not going to be the case. As Yada's going to get one more Tri-Bolt shot in there, is going to be able to catch him out, and takes the first round.
Going on to round 2, Rifa changing up his loadout a little bit, switching the Ice Dragon for the Salamamander.
Something to catch that movement of Yada a little more effectively. It's not going to have as easy of a time just kind of getting some solid shots in, but at the same time, it's just going to catch Yada a lot more unexpectedly, or at least that's what, like, Rifa's likely hoping here. So far, it's not looking to be the case, as Yada demonstrating a very solid understanding of this matchup right now, and is just getting away from all of these attacks, all of this pressure, and is going to land one more hit, bringing the score to 1 for Yada.
Do you reckon Rifa's gonna... Do you reckon Ribbon Girl? Riffa is
Girl?
going to make any changes for the next round?
I kind of expect Riffa to stick with Ninjara here. I wouldn't be so. I could see him choosing a different character. It might fit him a little bit better. But genuinely, I think he'd probably want to stick with Ninjara in this matchup. He does have a couple other tools. He might switch some things out. But the biggest thing that Riffa could probably do here is change up the stage, change up the way he's approaching the matchup. As something a lot of players just are able to do at this level is they'll have a loadout or two that just works really well for them. And then from there, it's just learning how to adjust to the match, set themselves up, and just change the way they play.
Sticking with his current loadout, Havra starting this time with the Tri-Blast and Slamamander instead of the Tri-Blast and the Ice Dragon.
Starting off, Riffa going to be the first to land a blow. Beata quickly going to get a 1-2 back and keep this very close. Neither really getting too much of an edge over the other. Riffa doing a solid job though of disarming Yada and allows him to go in for a quick poke, a little bit more damage. And catches that one window he had to land a 255 damage rush. And now holding on to a sizable health lead.
Yada, however, having Rush and could potentially even out the health lead later on.
Riffa just focusing on evading these attacks, trying not to get too caught up in them, and making sure that he's just not too open of a target to any easy grabs, any quick punishes that Yada might be trying to throw out. Gonna just barely try to dodge that, but ends up getting caught for 220 damage. And now Riffa needs to land this rush or just get a couple of quick hits in there to take this round. Yada not too far away from being able to get a KO. If he gets a stun grab combo with that Tri-Bolt, that is going to be enough.
However, Riffa gives Yada a nasty slap, allowing him to take the first round or match.
Riffa sees!
Riffa starting off this next round with a strong rush. Giving
caught
him
that
a
off
strong
of an uncharged Tri-Blast. Just the timing on that to be able to make that work. You have to be a true ninja master to work out the calculations of that move. Yada gonna go in for the rush. Almost gets caught by a punish, but is gonna quickly dive out of the way. Riffa though holding on to a sizable lead and is looking for just another opportunity to dive in with that rush. It is gonna bring this score to 1-1. I'm working on my timing with these overlays and everything. It's fun to work with fancy things like this. And then learning how to set things up. Sorry?
They honestly look very fancy and very fun to play with.
Shout out to Defer for making it. It's so nice looking. And it's really satisfying when you can set it up like that, and then just as they go over, you do that, and then we don't even have to worry. We've got something pretty going on as the fighters get ready and dive right back in. Keeps it nice and exciting.
Both players going on Mausoleum for this round, it seems.
Yeah, likely choosing Mausoleum as it's just a much more open space. It allows him to more safely move around without the worry about getting cornered. And it's working out pretty well for him as he's starting off with a huge health lead.
However, there is the thought of the trampoline that could appear if it gets smashed open later on in the match.
That's likely something that Yada wants to happen, as if he gets that back area to open up, that's just even more space, more freedom that Yada will have.
Yada quickly taking the first round, with Riffa going for the Ice Dragon Tri-Blast. And going
Gonna
in
dodge
for
right out of that. Oh!
340 damage rush.
Riffa recognizing that this is a much spacier stage. He's not gonna get pressured as hard. So he swapped over to the Ice Dragon, and so far it's working out very well for him. Riffa just looking for a little bit more damage to get the KO on this round and bring the score to 1-1. If he's able to do that, he'll be in a very advantaged state, as he'll have anything from 1 to 3 matches that he'll just have to win one of them to move on in the brackets. Yada bringing things back though, and is going to take this round, brings the score to 2-1 for Yada. Both players just really taking advantage of whichever stage they choose. Just finding a way to make it work out for them, and it's working out phenomenally. Next stage on this list, we will be going over to Via Dulce. Both players just diving straight into the ring. They're ready, they're raring to go. And are looking to keep things rolling.
Via Dulce is quite a bit of a drastic change from the sort of spacier stages we've seen previously this round.
It's a lot longer, but if Riffa starts getting some good pressure, or if Yada, that either one's going to get cornered pretty hard here, as both are really going to enjoy that just long movement, the ability to not get pinned down. Yada starting off very much on the aggressor side, trying to pin Riffa down. Riffa just trying to find his way out, get some quick pokes, get some damage in there. Yada just keeping that pressure going, does not get the confirm. Gonna catch Riffa's evade attempt though, and gets to take away his rush in the process.
Both players currently fairly even, with Yada having a slight health advantage. Although Riffa is working towards closing the gap between both players and getting Yada to under 25% health, going in for a grab for 150 damage and bringing Yada to one hit away, which he manages to do with the Tri-Blast, giving Riffa the first win for this round.
That was just a solid chain from Riffa. Just one thing after the next, quickly brought it around and took the first round. Looking to do this again, starting off very strong with this pressure. Tries to go in for the rush. A straight bullet is going to connect and a Dragon Blast, but not the full amount. Does get a lot of damage off regardless. Yada sees a moment just to dive in for that rush. It's going to connect for a feisty 280 damage. And both players very even. It could quickly turn around for either and favor either side. Riffa now ready with rush. Just gonna try to find his way in, likely to get one more KO. That Ice Dragon is just so on point, just constantly setting it up, sniping Yada down. Yada gonna safely block that rush. Takes a lot of shield chip damage though. Now Riffa just wanting to not get caught by anything. He's gonna get sniped down though by that rush, and there was no escape for him. Both players are still in this. Starting things off, Yada in a bit of an advantage state here. Getting some solid pressure, but Rifa just so good at finding his way out of those tricky corners. You truly can never corner Rifa. He's just always there. He's just always out, free to do it as he pleases.
Yada going in for 310 rush there, giving him a health advantage over Rifa.
Look at these players just boxing each other down. Yada not finding a way through. Rifa is going to be the one to come out on top, and now has rush ready, is just looking for any kind of confirm. Doesn't get it off of that, but does get some decent chip damage.
Yada slowly pushing Rifa into the corner, using quite a lot of pressure, closing the health gap and getting rush.
Oh, Yada tries to go in for a confirm there, but it's not gonna work. Does get one final snipe off of the side though. And that's going to be Yada taking Rifa down 3-1 with one final shot.
Honestly, these matches right now are really intense.
They're scary close. Just constantly over and over, these players just... I was pretty sure Rifa had that, and then Yada just caught him. He dodged back right into that rush, or into that straight tri-blast, and that was going to be enough.
I honestly thought we were going to be seeing around 5 out of this one.
Yeah, it was really close to having that happen. But alas for poor Rifa, he was not able to make it through. He's still in the brackets though, and will be facing off whoever is able to take this next match in the losers finals. Or we've still got a couple of matches before then. We've got this match, and then we've got the next match, and then it's losers finals. Whoever takes this will be facing off against Rafa. Waiting for both players to get in here and be ready. I'm going to take advantage of this to go to the washroom. I'll be back in a quick moment. While we're waiting, Kat, why don't you talk a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Oh, I feel like I've got a whole ton of pressure now on me that I have to like talk and be distracting. I do art and I played arms, but now I sit behind a mic and make snarky comments. I also make plushies and I animate arms characters. This is really... Both Iceman and Replicant are now in the lobby just waiting for Maleef to get back so we can get things... A showdown between two very strong UK players about to happen.
I'm back, and we're ready to go.
UK face-off.
The faces of the UK Replicant and Iceman are about to dance for a
It shall be a
shot
glorious fight for the honor of being a better UK player.
Who is the fancier of the UK's? Our fantastic Replicant, or our delightful the delightful Iceman? We'll find out right away as these two dive into the ring.
Replicant going for a Tri-Blast and Bird Check combination, with Iceman going for the Ice Dragon and Sparky combination, which we saw earlier with his fight with Defer.
That's like Iceman's trademark loadout. It's what he likes using. It's his favorite loadout as far as I see. And for good reason. If any confirm, it's pretty much a free Dragon Arm if he's in a disadvantaged state. If he's in an advantage state, it's usually a strong combo or a grab. Starting things off, Replicant struggling to find his way through the pressure that Iceman is applying and just cannot find his way in. Iceman holding onto a very solid health lead and is going to take Replicant's rush away with him from him and is going to do one more grab combo, and that's another perfect. Pretty much in the exact same position, exact same round as last time he got one.
Iceman's just
done it twice in a row.
Go today.
Well, not in a row, but yeah, Iceman staying nice and chill and is just going to take the first round by storm. Replicant switching the Tri-Blast over for the Toaster to allow him to more effectively punch down this pressure that Iceman has. And starting off a little more favorably as Replicant has successfully dealt damage and is evading a lot of these attacks, holding onto a very slight health lead now, and is just looking for an opportunity to either punish Iceman's rush or just get a solid confirm to get some serious damage in there. That Toaster really helping Replicant out as he's going to get another solid well-aimed blast hit. And now holding onto a pretty decent health lead. And is preventing Iceman from really getting a lot of those confirms, those combos that he likes to get so much with this loadout.
Iceman slowly closing in on Replicant, trying to get in a few hits to allow him to get rush or for a grab. He goes in for the rush and goes for 345 damage, giving him a strong health advantage, ready for the timer, which would either get the KO, which it does.
Just with the snap of a finger, Iceman is going to take that first round. One final confirm being all he needed. Just generally playing that match very exceptionally. Replicant likely going to need to change things up drastically in order to bring this round back into his favor. A very adaptable player though, he's got a lot of good tools, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him bring something new out to completely blindside Iceman. It's not an easy task though, as Iceman just is very consistent and solid with this loadout, and it's really difficult for a lot of people to keep up with it. I know I personally struggle with it from time to time whenever I've played with him. Stage is set. Our next match is going to be going to Mausoleum. And Iceman ready to step into the ring. I think we are all set to dive right back in for our next match. Replicant taking some time to plan this out, come in, and he is going to be wielding the Twintel this time around. Twintel possibly might help him out a little bit more, as he's just going to have a lot more control over his movement, his pace, and gives himself a little bit more of an opportunity to work things out. Going in with a very explosive loadout as well, so this can very effectively catch Iceman in so many predicaments, so many little opportunities. As we're going to see with a couple of strong hits, Replicant holding on to a solid lead here. Iceman tries to go in for the grab, not going to be able to work out in his favor, and Iceman has yet to get that Dragon Arm, finally finds an opportunity to equip it. Replicant just taking advantage of Twintel's movement is allowing him to just quickly dive between all these shots, getting him out of the way of a lot of this pressure, and is now just a rush away from being able to take Iceman down. Baits that rush out and is going to be able to capitalize on it with a safe shield. Now Replicant just looking for a little bit more damage, and it's going to be another shot from that Lockjaw, catching Iceman as he lands on the ground. Heading into this next round, Iceman switching over to the Chakram so that he can a little more effectively get around that Lockjaw. But he's going to start off getting caught by a hefty 340 damage rush. Lockjaw Nate also one of the strongest rushes in this game. Much like the Seiki, just capable of outputting so much damage, especially if you land the full brunt of it. Iceman trying to find a way in to confirm his rush, or to take advantage of the pressure that rush possesses. But with Replicant being Twintel and being able to utilize that Starstruck, just slowing this match down, he's really taking advantage of everything Iceman's doing and just getting some really solid punishes. Replicant just looking for one more hit. Going to try to use that rush to pressure Iceman into something, but is only going to get caught out by a 305 damage rush. Replicant trying to take these last 30 seconds slow, just trying to see if he can find a way in to get a little bit more damage. Just needs a single hit and to make sure Iceman cannot get a hit of his own, and he's going to be successful, bringing the score to 1-1.
Do you reckon we'll see any changes from either of the players for the next round?
I'm expecting Replicant to stick with Twintel here. That worked out very well for him. Iceman, I could see a few changes coming in. He's got a Ribbon Girl. I've seen the Dr. Coil. Ribbon Girl might work out a little bit better in this matchup. Or he might just go for a slight adjustment on loadout. Just equipping explosive arms himself might give him a little bit more wiggle room to work around, get some better pressure, and might be able just to bring it back through that.
That's fair. I feel like Replicant's choice of going with Twintel is quite good, because as I've fought Iceman quite a lot, I know his sort of playstyle is really, really aggressive, so being able to choose a character like Twintel where you can kind of slow that down and be quite defensive is quite a good choice for Replicant in my eyes.
Oh yeah, it works out very well. Iceman choosing to stick with Min Min here. We will be facing off this final round, but into the scrapyard. It looks like Iceman is just going to stick with that loadout too. This definitely being a lot better stage for the Ice Dragon, as there's just so much more room to work with. Forces Replicant to have to chase after him, which prevents the Starstruck from being as effective.
Iceman getting a few nice early hits in, giving him a health advantage off the go.
and just continuing to try to take advantage of that higher platform to just get those pokes in, get some pressure in, and is forcing Replicant to try to respond to this. Replicant has yet to make contact with Iceman in terms of any damage whatsoever, and is finally going to connect with a nade.
Iceman's
but he's not going to
in
be able
for
to do
rush
much
and
else.
Getting the KO against Replicant.
Basically, that could have been a third perfect if I hadn't jinxed it, potentially. But now Replicant gonna go in. He's got the Tribolt swapped over, putting that nade away. This should give him a little bit more of a safer opportunity to get confirms. That spread can be very effective for him too. Replicant starting off with a slight health lead here. Gonna catch Iceman with another well-aimed lockjaw, just forcing him into the air and just sniping down that landing position with a giant ball of jaw, locking him down. Replicant holding on to a sizable lead here. There's a very good chance that he's just gonna time this one out or take it very slowly. As he gets a little
trying to close the gap by going for a nice stun grab combo.
We still have 40 seconds left on the clock. It could easily go into Iceman's favor if Replicant is not careful. He's taking a lot of chip damage, or just arm chip damage as well though. And if he gets left too vulnerable, that's going to be a very solid punish from Iceman.
Replicant gets his arm disabled and gets a nice freeze from the Ice Dragon there.
If Iceman gets a stun off of either of these arms, that could be a rush. And he's gonna dive right in for it. Replicant not gonna have a chance here to do anything, as Iceman just slowly brought things back after that loss and took the set.
That was a very great combo? Comeback, there we go. I can English. That was a very great comeback from Iceman there.
Just played it very well. Took his time with it, recognized that how much time he had, and utilized that time effectively to allow himself to take the match. And is looking for just now he is set to move on in the brackets to face off against Rafa. So this is going to be a pretty exciting. Oh wait, this is semi, not finals. Let me fix that. Bam. Yeah, this is probably going to be a pretty exciting matchup. We got Rafa facing off against Iceman. Just need both of the players to step into the ring.
Do you have any predictions as to who could win this round?
I mean, we could just go off of what the seeding said and say Iceman's gonna make it to the finals, but I genuinely don't know. To my knowledge and experience, I would say Iceman can take this, but you really cannot underestimate Rafa. The dude is very scary, very proficient. Even after this being like one of his first, he hasn't done much in the last while, and he just kind of shows up, and it's still Rafa. He's still kicking butt. He's still being scary.
With arms, I find even if you're like not playing for like a significant amount of time, it's really easy just to kind of dive back in and just pick up the game. So it's really hard to like judge what some of the more older or retired players might be doing, or might be like, because you don't know how quickly they can de-rust.
Yeah, this game's very much like riding a bike. In a lot of cases, like, it's different for some people. I know some people who will pick up the game again and they'll be like, this is awkward and difficult. But I know a lot of people who will just be like, oh, I haven't played in, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. Turn on the game, enter a tournament, place top 4. Oh, wow, look, I'm in top 4 of this tournament of players who are extremely proficient and talented, and they'll just do it. This game is very accessible, and that's one of the cool things about it is it's exciting to see them come back because it's so fun to see it play. It's not like a lot of other fighting games where they'll disappear and they come back and they have to try to pick up on a lot of things again, remember these old combos and everything. They just pick it back up and they get to do amazing stuff like Rafa has here. They get to be amazing and awesome, and people are just like, Rafa's back, yay! And then he just creams everybody.
I don't think I'd be going, yay, if I'm going to go up against Rafa and then get creamed.
I mean, for the watchers, the people who are watching are definitely enjoying this.
That's true. I mean, I'm certainly enjoying this. Just chilling up behind the microphone.
Yeah. It's always nice to see a friend like Rafa drop by again.
Exactly. Plus, it always makes it interesting just to see, like, people who don't necessarily, like, turn up all the time, like, see some new faces or some old faces. Or someone you haven't seen for, like, 10 months.
There's a lot of people who... There are players who are slowly coming in, too, so there's a lot of cases where it's like, oh, hey, there's this tournament. Who's this Rafa guy? And then everybody else is like, yo, Rafa's back, or yo, Resolve's back. And it's like, I've never seen this guy play before, and then you play against him, you're like, oh, this is why they're excited.
All I can just think of is that meme from, like, Pokemon X and Y, where it's like, it's been 3,000 years.
That is what it is. It do be that way. Both players are ready. Our first match is going to be in Mausoleum.
I feel like I'm having somewhat of deja vu here, because I'm pretty sure we saw Rafa go against Maxo with the exact same skin.
It kind of seems pretty similar, but these are very different players. There are different styles to them, and that is going to be a nice opening for a quick 140 additional damage, giving Rafa a nice lead.
Rafa being very aggressive and just not letting Iceman have too many opportunities to attack him.
Just keeping up that tempo, keeping up that pressure. He's definitely picked up a lot of things just from the previous round. He's definitely, the more we see him, the more he's likely just being like, oh yeah, this, oh yeah, this. And he's just becoming a lot more consistent with every round that we're seeing him in. And it's allowing him to do some very impressive things. Gonna get caught by that rush though, or that grab. Now Iceman just looking for a rush opportunity. Rafa actually capable of landing a KO rush himself, but he's gonna get caught by a wandering explosion from that Siki. That thing has hit times that just nobody would ever believe.
Iceman getting blown up by his own Siki, potentially giving Rafa an opportunity to go in for a grab and give him a KO. However, Rafa completely missing it.
Yeah, Rafa not able to catch him there, but does only need a little bit more damage to take Iceman down. Iceman with a well-aimed Siki though, going to sneak right in. Rafa unable to punch it down with the popper, ends up losing this first round. That only allows us to dive right into the second round though, with Rafa once again starting off with a quick hit with the popper and putting himself in a light lead. A chain of explosions allows Rafa to quickly knock Iceman down, freezes Iceman with another bird chuck, but he's not going to be able to follow it up. Iceman just on top of his game, making sure he doesn't get caught by anything too wise. But that's where the popper comes in, because if Rafa is able to get Iceman backed up against the wall and then connect with another one, that is going to be a rush confirm, allowing Rafa to get some serious damage in there. And is now one hit away from taking Iceman down.
And there is that one hit that takes Iceman down for the KO.
Iceman going to change things up, puts the Siki down. He's had enough of that thing. That toy has just been very mean to him. And he's gonna bring out the Tri-Blast in response.
Well, to be fair, the Siki did stun him, giving Rafa a huge opportunity to potentially give him a KO in an earlier round, so I'm not surprised there.
It's probably the highest risk reward arm, as if it goes wrong, it hurts so much. But it's super rewarding when you're able to make it work out in your favor. Rafa getting a solid rush punish there is able to keep himself pretty well in the game. Both players very close on health pools. Just constantly going back and forth with these hits. A very aggressive round right now, as both just trading blow after blow. Iceman just looking for a rush confirm.
Iceman getting the health advantage and getting the rush, being able to pressure Rafa into getting a final hit and then taking the round.
Iceman just started getting some serious tempo. Rafa was left with very few options, as he had a weakened arm too. A shield break could have easily been enough. Held up very well there, but it just unfortunately was not enough, as Iceman was able to chill him out with one more blast and took the first game.
I see what you did there.
Now we'll have to see if Rafa can keep a cool head in this next match and triumph over Iceman. We're gonna go straight back into Mausoleum. Two very scary players, a very fitting home for both of them. And it looks like Rafa's got a slight change up. He's got the Hydra equipped and ready to roll.
Iceman starting the round off with a nice hit, giving him a strong health advantage. However, Rafa slowly pushing back, evening out the advantage using the Hydra.
Iceman holding on to some pretty solid pressure. The Hydra not helping out too well for Rafa yet. But if he's able to just start getting a couple of good reads, he can very easily come back into his favor as he sees a moment to dive in with the rush.
And there is the trampoline, potentially changing things up stage-wise for both players. Iceman using the trampoline to get an aerial rush, giving Rafa a significant amount of damage. Rafa slowly closing up the health gap, however Iceman retaliating, putting Rafa on the magic pixel. And
Rafa
Iceman going in for the final poke to give him the route, to give him the match.
Iceman just able to take control of that match. Rafa was getting really close in a lot of points, but he just was not able to make it work out for him. With that broken trampoline, that's going to allow Rafa and Iceman, both pretty solid. Kikobra and Ribbon Girl are both really good in the air. So we're going to see a lot of it as Rafa is going to be the aggressor here and is going to try to punch down that rush, but just cannot work out in his favor. 230 damage goes into Rafa's face, and now Iceman holding onto a sizable health lead. Rafa gets one more hit in with the popper and is now just trying to find a way in to apply some more pressure, constantly chipping down those charged explosions.
Rafa's slowly getting an advantage, however Iceman trading back punches to keep the health bar fairly even, and Rafa going in for a rush, giving him a match win, making even fairly even. So
Rafa just saw Iceman was like, he saw Iceman, he was like, you're on the trampoline, you can't shield, I'm gonna hit you. And that, he just needed that. He's still in this. He has to take this second round. He's got to be careful though, as Iceman is going to go in with double nade. A very large wall of projectiles, a lot of explosions. This might give Rafa a little more opportunity to dodge out of the way of some of these attacks though. He's gonna fall right into that nade trap. And suffers 350 damage.
Rafa attempting to go for a freeze grab combo, however, Iceman quickly dodging the grab and getting in some nice damage.
Rafa looking to try to set up a confirm with these charged poppers. None are going to connect, but he gets a lot of shield chip damage and ends up knocking Iceman down with a shield breaker. Iceman though,
Rafa
now ready with a rush because of that, but is only one hit away from getting KO'd.
Iceman going in for the rush. I honestly thought it was going to miss, but gets the KO with 320 damage.
Rafa almost safe to get out of that, but ends up diving right into it at the very last moment, and is now going to have to settle with a wonderful 4th place. That is a very solid position. You seriously cannot underestimate a player like Rafa. That guy is phenomenal. He just knows how to play. He comes in, takes 4th place, thumbs up, good job, and then he gets to go chill for a while until the next one. Speaking of riffs and rafts, our next up matchup is going to be Riva versus About Iceman. For our losers finals. Just do that. Bam. And now I can just properly set this stuff up. I feel like we had this match already. Oh no, Rifa fought against Yada, wasn't it? Yeah. Duh.
Everyone having similar names, everything getting confusing.
Everybody's either the same name, the same character. Everybody likes to match. You guys are too fashionable for me.
It's like playing Guess Who, but with ARMS players.
I actually would have a bit of fun with that.
Do they play the random button?
Are they a ribbon main? Does this ribbon main swap characters? Or do they prefer explosions? Which of the... does my character prefer Temple Grounds as their starting stage? Classic question for the ages. And heading into this first match in the losers finals, we are going to be having Rifa face off against Iceman. Iceman going Mechanica. This could be a pretty good pick.
Mechanic was an unexpected choice for me, if I'm honest.
But it can also be a really risky one. From my personal experience playing Mechanica against Rifa, you really have to have a solid approach to make Mechanica work. If I do recall correctly, Iceman has succeeded before, though, with this pick. But he's really had to work for it.
Riffa starting off the round with a health advantage thanks to a lovely grab right at the beginning. However, Iceman is slowly pushing back on this advantage. Riffa going in for the rush, however, Iceman's like, nah mate, nah, you're not having that rush.
Just snipes him down with the Ram Ram. He's not gonna catch with the Ram Ram! Oh! This is with the homie! The Ram Ram launched him too high into the air! Rippa just looking for one more hit now and is going to be able to connect. The chip just took Dale down. And Riffa going to take the first round. Starting off the second round, Iceman just going to eat several more chips. We're gonna run out of chips at this point. We're gonna have to go to the store and buy some more chips because Riffa's just dishing them all out and Iceman just keeps eating them all.
Please save chips for the rest of the players, guys. Focusing on the match, Riffa has just disabled Iceman's arm, allowing him to get a few extra pokes in.
And now Iceman ready with Rush.
Ooh. Iceman getting 345 damage. However, he is one hit away from being KO'd.
Really needs to be making sure he's getting these reads. He's getting a lot of them very successfully, but just one more poke is all Riffa needed. And on such a large body, there was very little Iceman could do. Ends up getting sniped down, and Riffa is going to take the first game. That was insane. There's not enough chips in any household for how much just came off of all those little pokes. You do have to be very careful about uncharged arms, especially light arms, even as a heavy. A lot of players underrate or underestimate how scary that is. Because what happens is you just get too focused in the match and you just continue trying to chase after and they're just getting all these safe little pot shots.
I honestly feel like that's what happened to Iceman in the previous round, because a lot of time went past. You just went, oh wait, Iceman's just lost a ton of damage, and because he's playing a large character, it's so easy just to get like those cheeky little pokes in. Like, I've done it so many times before, and people are just like, where's all the health gone? Iceman...
Yeah, they're just like, I can keep chasing you. Oh, you're hitting me. Haha, how silly. How quaint your tiny little pokes are. I'm just gonna keep chasing you. And then you're just sitting there just like poking them over and over. And then they blink and they're like, oh, I'm almost down. Iceman making a choice here to change over from Mechanica to Min Min in response to that pressure. We're having ourselves an Ice Dragon duel here.
Ice Dragon with some form of Pokearm.
Pretty much the same Pokearm too. We've got Tribolt versus the Triblast here. One capable of a little bit more higher consistent damage, but the Tribolt really good for grab combos and just has a lot of heavy damage that it just dishes out.
Riffa going in for the KO, giving him the first match of this.
And Riffa gonna swap over to the Slamamander now in response to this. Doesn't want to have a mirror match. He wants to have a little bit more variety in here. Goes in with those breezy slaps and is going to end up taking this first rush for 350 damage.
Iceman getting a few nice pokes in, allowing him to stun Riffa and go in for a nice stun grab combo for 150 damage, giving Riffa a sliver of health to be KO'd by a laser beam of the Ice Dragon.
And Iceman's just like, nah, I want you to put that dragon back on. We want to have a dragon match. Riffa doesn't want it to though. He's gonna stick with that Mander. Doesn't want to have two dragons dancing.
Riffa just wants to be a cool kid that stands out.
Yeah, he wants to be matching, and the Slamamander helps match his with his outfit a little bit better. The Ice Dragon matches better with Iceman. As you can see, the blue, just very complimentary.
Also, it matches his name.
That is true.
Iceman going in for a rush, getting Riffa into the 25% health, and takes him out of that with a nice grab, giving him the round win. Or the match win.
Both players now at a score of 1-1. Iceman utilizing the Mausoleum very effectively just to take control of that match. And beyond that first round for Riffa, he really just did not have a good time.
I certainly feel like Iceman's changing characters, switching from Mechanica to Min Min, was quite a good choice for him in the long run, since it allowed him to be more agile and keep up with Riffa.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to help him out so much more. Mechanica was a good pick to start with, but Riffa just knows that matchup too well, and he's so raring to go on that. He knows what he needs to do. And Mechanica, unless you approach him properly, and very specifically, she doesn't work against Riffa. Min Min definitely working out a little bit more. Iceman also a lot more comfortable as Min Min, so just being used to the character gives him a little bit more advantage. And since Riffa's going all out, it makes sense that Iceman would need to go all out in response.
Starting off this round, again with a Dragon Duel. Riffa going with Dragon Tri-Blast, and Iceman going for Ice Dragon Tri-Molt.
Carrying on with this match, it does appear that we have a bit of a heart attack. This matchup, a little too intense for Iceman, is unable to keep up. And Riffa, just scaring him down with his intimidating presence, causes a very unfortunate heart attack to occur.
Or Iceman's internet.
Iceman melted down. Iceman had a meltdown.
I would comment on how the weather may have affected it. However, it is pretty grim right now here in the rainy UK.
Oh, you would say it's pretty grim out there, wouldn't you?
Iceman has returned there. He has rose like a phoenix.
And we're gonna dive right back into this match. They show what is truly... These are the most powerful arms in the EU meta. Actually, yeah, it's kind of funny how a lot of the top players in the EU scene are very proficient with the Ice Dragon.
I'm honestly slightly jealous of a lot of people, since I can never make the dragons work, and then there's just so many people who's like, look at me and the Ice Dragon.
Actually, think about that a little bit further. One of the best NA players, Twin50, also uses the Ice Dragon. It's such a good arm. It's very underrated for a lot of people. But even with the nerfs it sustained, it's still by far one of the strongest tools for a lot of these players in their playstyles. Like, once you understand how it works...
The Ice Dragons, and Riffa having in a cheeky final laser to take out Iceman for the first round.
Yeah, Riffa just getting a bunch of really solid pokes in there, utilizing the pressure of the stage, and just the wide coverage of these two arms, allowing him to take advantage of that advantage state that he has advantagedly, and is once again going to quickly bring himself into a bit of a lead. Does get a nice disarm, keeps an ice chain, and now Iceman on thin ice at 25% health, and is going to get caught by that rush. Not going to get KO'd by it, but Riffa still in a very dominant position, and more than enough to be able to get one final hit, bringing the score to 2-1 Riffa's favor. Okay, that worked out a little bit better. I I gotta throw in a couple of puns and I didn't just start giggling. We're making progress live on stream. Rifa now looking for one more win to be able to face off against Yada in the grand finals and potentially go in for that salty run back. Iceman having to take 2 games off of Rifa, one of them being a stage that Rifa gets to pick. That's going to be a bit of a tough position for him. I'd like to thank, welcome, and
disappeared again.
Oh. In this moment, I'd like to welcome and thank everybody who just joined from K9 Stream. I welcome all 37 of you wonderful, beautiful people. We are just on the losers finals right now, and we'll be moving on, or we'll be seeing which of these two will be making it to the grand finals to face off against Yada. Looks like our stage has been set, and we are going to be facing off, having what potentially might be the finals match, or it might be the second final match. We will have to watch and see. But we are going to be heading over to the scrapyard. Heading into this next match, it looks like they've molded into being even more similar. They're pretty much mirrors of each other, except for the Ice Dragon, which they both possess. Iceman, instead of Slamamander, now has Slapamander. Like, literally using the same loadouts here. Except not.
Iceman is starting out with an advantage, however, getting a nice almost 50% off Rifa's health. However, Rifa is slowly pushing back and does have rush advantage.
Iceman quickly getting a rush alongside Rifa's. Both very close, and it's going to be Rifa to be the first one to connect. 310 damage, and now it's Rifa calling Iceman out to put that Ice Dragon back on. We gotta have ourselves the Ice Dragon dance. Does get 255 damage. Iceman just looking for one more confirm. He's not gonna have it though, as that grab is going to slip right out and take away Iceman's Dragon Arm. He's gonna have to work a lot harder to get that stun grab combo, and is now just looking for one more hit. But Rifa's gonna connect first, and is 1 round away from making it to the grand finals.
Both players sticking with their loadouts for this next round. Iceman getting in a few cheeky pokes at the beginning, giving him a advantage health-wise. However, Rifa does have his rush ready available, and now so does Iceman. Iceman going in for his rush, going for a 310 damage, giving him a strong health advantage against Rifa. Rifa, however, retaliating, going for 380 damage, slowly closing the gap between the two.
Rifa slowly getting these pokes and just quickly chaining Iceman down. And both players quickly building up rush. It should not be too long until Rifa has his ready. But he's going to get caught by a stun grab and is now 1 hit from being KO'd. Iceman extremely close from getting KO'd too. A shield break or anything would be enough. That's not going to properly connect though. And the Manor reaching out from the depths is going to reconnect with Rifa, bringing the score to 1-1. Iceman sees a window to dive in for that rush and is going to be able to connect for 320 damage, putting himself in a strong start. Rifa just applying some pokes, getting a lot of light damage in there. Is going to use his rush to save himself from that Manor. Ends up missing out on that Ice Dragon, but does still get a decent amount of damage in there. Rifa getting a couple of quick hits in there, is now just about ready for rush. Iceman ready for a rush of his own. Going to see an opportunity to throw it out and ends up connecting for most of it, but not enough. And Iceman is going to have another heart attack live on the field. Cannot handle the pressure of these matches. They're just too spicy, too fierce. Too much of a scare.
Maybe all those Tri-Blast pokes are melting Iceman.
It's just too much. We'll just see what happens here in regards to this. I believe if both players are fine... Actually, that was a very close match, and that could have easily been a game for either side, so I do not know what's going to be determined as the result here. These heart attacks are just too intense. These players just not... Iceman keeps just burning up, evaporating, and turning into mist and disappearing from our sights. Kat, how are you enjoying these matches so far?
These matches are just really interesting to follow because they're so intense. There's no like clear winner, just someone like steamrolling anyone. It's always fairly even, so it's always just fun to watch and see where it all goes because you don't really know where it's going to go next.
Just to take a quick moment to talk about some of our supporters, FellowsTV, of course, the one streaming this. They do actually have their own FellowsTV merch, as you can see on the link right above. We also have Network Era, who is helping support this channel and this event. Got a couple of links to some tournaments. You'll be seeing that pass by here and there. This channel is also being supported right now by Planet Scrapstar, my own stream and channel. It's got a couple of fancy little emotes. You can see them on my ad whenever that pops up. We also have the Fellows in Arms documentary. If you have not seen that yet, be sure to check it out on YouTube. Looks like they've come to an agreement and they are going to go straight back into this match. Not sure exactly where they're going to be resuming from, but we'll quickly find out. And Iceman is going to have another heart attack.
These matches are just too intense for Iceman, it seems. The heat's too strong.
And that's going to be the first perfect against Iceman in this tournament.
Maybe Iceman's internet just doesn't want him to win.
His internet keeps freezing up.
Oh no.
I'm fighting so hard to be quiet. Poor guy. This is just an unfortunate string of events. It's not gonna work out for Iceman.
It's just really annoying when technical things like this always go like astray. Like usually everything's all fine and it's just like due to bad luck it's like, oh no, you're not going to be able to do as well as you want to because your internet is just being like nah, or you might end up with a power cut or something like that. So
yeah,
it's just unfortunate.
Right. As is said though, the show must go on, and with that we will move over to our grand finals, where Rifa will be coming back to face off against Yada. looking to try to reclaim his position. There we go. Or to claim the position as the top competitor of this FTV OC. Oh, that's from the wrong... Here, I can... Here, I've got it. Oh, he's got it too. That either of those two would work, I think. So yeah, use one of those.
Just
oh,
click a link that doesn't look suspicious.
well, the link has to be as suspicious as possible. Because I don't know. My brain is fizzling at this point.
I don't
as
know
it
either.
wants to do. It's got to be suspicious though, because that's the only way you'll learn to trust others. Is to trust the suspicious people. That's how it works, right? I don't actually condone that that choice of behavior. It might work. Sometimes it might not.
Just don't click suspicious links that look like they're trying to steal your money.
It's probably not going to work out. And just looking to make sure that everything is set up here. We've got ourselves our first match between these two is going to be in Sparring Ring. And as this is the grand finals, looks like we're going to Tommaso. So we are going to be starting off the grand finals with these two players facing off in Mausoleum. Both players ready to get rolling and dive straight in. Rifa facing off against the winner side, Yada. Both of these two very, very solid players, have a lot of really amazing abilities and just really understand this game. Rifa going to be the Ice Dragon wielder to face off against Yada in our grand finals match.
Rifa going in.
Go ahead.
Rifa going in with a strong start, having rush advantage already, and having
losing that rush. Oh, that tribal just connecting right in between the shots, and a nice confirm allows Yada to take the lead.
Yada going in for a sneaky poke, getting the KO to win the first. Both players going into this next round sticking with their previous arms. Both players health-wise very even. However, Rifa does have a health advantage and is slowly chipping up.
Rifa gets a freeze, not going to be able to follow up anything off of that freeze, as Yada going to patiently block it down. Sees an opportunity to go in for the rush. Rifa not going to be able to respond in time and takes 270 damage. Yada just looking for a little bit more to be able to take Rippa down. The Ice Dragon gonna connect though, 345 damage off of that finishing touch as well. And now both players still very close to each other, neither with too much of an advantage. Yada just looking for that one ground confirm and is going to be able to connect, taking the first round.
What kind of stages do you expect we'll see for the next round?
Oh god, it's so hard to tell with these two. I'm gonna guess Sparring Ring possibly? This seems like we're gonna be going to DNA Lab.
This is the first time we've seen DNA Lab on this stream, isn't it?
It is! We've seen every other stage, but the first time we're gonna see DNA Labs on this stream, or Dance Lab, is going to be in the grand finals, second round.
With 6 lovely spectators watching on, not knowing what their face could possibly imply. Both players starting off with their usual sets, and Yatta getting in a few pokes, giving a health advantage. However, Rippa is retaliating against that. Rippa going in for a grab to widen the health gap between the both players.
Yeah, to just effectively applying pressure here is just giving Rippa very little room to work with. Even though he's got the pillars to protect himself, Yada is just effectively covering the walls of that pillar, making sure that Rippa just really doesn't get any opportunities too strong to get in anything.
Retaliating from Yada's rush, giving him the first match of this round.
Rippa found his way through, and he's able to take the first round pretty solidly with just a quick turnaround.
Iceman switching things up for this round, going in for the Salamander opposed to the Ice Dragon. Pretty much giving both players the same sets. Oh no wait, Yatta's using the Toaster, not the Salamander.
Yada's got the old toasty roasty on. Very, very safe and very effective tool. Can keep up with the Mander. Generally will outbox him, but can struggle against the curve of it. And also does have the danger of getting caught by the explosion from that Tri-Blast. Rippa waiting things out so he can maximize that damage and gets the shield break. Both players trading back and forth, neither really giving the other too much of a quarter, but Rippa is holding on to a sizable health lead here. And Yada, only with 35 seconds left on the clock, is really going to need to find something to get a couple of grab confirms or anything to really bring this back. That Slamamander is just going to take so much more time away from him. He might not be able to do this. One more hit is going to connect, and that brings the score to 1-1. These two just really going at each other, just a fierce battle right now. Could easily still go either way, but it's looking like at the current moment, Yada does have a bit of an advantage. And if Rippa isn't able to turn things around, Yada will potentially take this tournament.
Rippa switching for the Ice Dragon Tri-Blast combo for this round, opposed to the Slamamander. Yatta sticking with the Tri-Bolt and coaster combination. Yetta is slowly getting a health lead, pushing Ripper into a corner. However, Ripper retaliates by giving Yetta a lovely hug.
Ripper starting off with a light lead here, utilizing that Ice Dragon, getting some good solid pokes in. But he's gonna slowly get pushed into the corner and ends up getting outboxed by Yatta's Rush and is now in the Hot Pocket. Yatta trying to push him back in, but Rippa quickly finds his way out of that pocket. It is now in a very safe and open position. For now, just looking. Go ahead.
Ripper slowly getting advantage, having the health advantage and the rush advantage, and slowly giving Yatta quite a few pokes to break down his health. Yatta is trying to retaliate though, and does also have his rush. Goes in for the rush, catches Ripper, and gets in for the KO.
Rippa gives us a beautiful still frame of him getting hit by Rush and allows Yatta to take the first round. Now both players even on Rush.
Ripper switching back to the Slamamander for this round. Yatta having a strong health lead already, being able to land quite a few grabs and hits on Ripper. Both players now having rush, however Yatta gets a nice poke in, giving him the win for this round.
Yatta now 1 round away from being able to take the FTV OC numero 3. Riva needing to be able to take 2 games in a row to take this tournament. Or to do a bracket reset and then have to come all the way back from that to take this tournament. Still has a whiles to go, and now we are going to be seeing our way back to sparring ring. These two just itching for a fight are gonna dive right back in.
Both players sticking to what they know for this round, and Yatta getting a few early hits and giving him the health advantage. And Yatta going for a stun grab combo, pretty much getting Ripper to under 50% health.
Yatta started off very strong, and this might potentially be the final round. We might be approaching right now the final round for Rifa, and it's going to be starting off on a perfect. This can not be a happy place for Rifa to be in right now. Going to have to bring things back from that painful, rough first round. Rifa definitely capable of doing that, but this is quite the climb of a mountain. There are few mountains you could climb that would be as difficult as the one that Rifa has before him. Rifa starting off with a very slight lead here, is looking to try to just hold on to it. But that Tri-Ball can offer so many terrifying grab combos and opportunities if he can find his way through. Both players just dancing between these attacks, neither giving either any quarter, just constantly dancing back and forth, struggling to find a way between these flurry of attacks, safely protecting themselves with their heavier arm while throwing in a wall of small projectiles with their lighter arm. Rifa holding on to a sizable lead here with 23 seconds left on the clock. Yada really needs to get a combo going if he wants to close things out here and now.
Yada is slowly retaliating, however, will he have enough time to get Rifa down to a low enough health so he can take this round?
If he lands his rush, that is game. He's not going to have the chance though. Goes for the grab, but that's not going to be even close to enough.
This does, however, save Yatta's rush for the next round, possibly giving him more tools to play with.
Rifa also has his rush ready in tow though, and will likely want to utilize it just to take this next round. Rifa is doing everything he possibly can to fight back against Yada and is going to take away Yada's rush. Sees a moment to go in for the rush, and that's going to allow Rifa to hold on to a bit of a lead. Both players just dancing, weaving back and forth, trying their best to find their way in. Rifa slowly just coming out further and further on top with each of these little pokes, and Yada just not finding his way in. Both now immediately, synchronously, ready for rush. If Rifa connects with his, or just a couple more hits, even a grab would be enough. Rifa will be able to take this round. Yada needing about one, if he gets a stun hit with that tribal and follows up with the rush, that will confirm take Rifa down, and just barely misses out on a connect as Rifa's uncharged tribal is going to connect beforehand. Ends up going for a 1-2 and keeps Rifa in the match. Sees that one final moment, and that is not going to be it. Misses with the finishing touch. Ends up going in with the wrong arm and allows Rifa to bring it back. Bringing us into what might be our final game, or potentially a bracket reset.
That was honestly just crazy to see.
Oh, I'm kind of lightheaded because of that round. We still have more matches?
I kind of want to, like, react properly and scream, but it's just trying to hold myself back because I know I don't want to annoy anyone else.
Oh gods. Yada could have had that. He missed. He hit with the wrong finishing touch. That could have been it. That would have been like another 20-30 damage, and that would have been enough, but he just ended up throwing out the wrong finishing touch, and Rifa was able to bring it back from there. And now, Rifa, with a final chance to get that bracket reset, we are going to be finding ourselves in Via Dolce. Starting off this match, Yada holding onto a very light lead with a little bit more space, things not being so closed in and tight. This gives Yada a lot more opportunity to move around without having to focus on such a flurry of attacks. This holding onto a solid lead. Gets a quick hit in with the tribal. Now Yada just looking for a little bit more damage. One more hit will be enough. Rifa was not going to have a chance to try to bring that back. Yada starting this round, much like the last one, with a very dominant lead. Rifa still on that climb of this mountain that which Yada is. Trying to ascend his way through. Starts off with a well-aimed, a solid response to that grab with 350 damage off of a rush, and now has a health lead.
Yada retaliating against Rifa with a rush, going for 90 damage. Not being able to connect as much, but still any damage is good damage.
Yeah, almost getting caught by that Ice Dragon, is going to slip right beside it though. Gets out of the way. and is going to continue to apply some pressure to Rifa. Rifa, though, still holding out on top, is just looking for a little bit more to take Yada down. Much like that previous round, or that previous match, Rifa this time in a much more advantaged position, has a much more solid health lead. Yada not able to take any more hits. But if Yada is able to find any opportunity for a heavy amount of damage, this can be it. It's going to be that grab. Yada taking the grand finals and closing out the EU brackets of the FTV OC number 3.
That was an amazing comeback from Yatta, and honestly just amazing games overall for the tournament.
Yeah, it's pretty hype. My throat isn't happy, but it hasn't been ever since I got sick, so... Great matches from everybody. Congratulations to Yada taking first place in this FTV OC. Rifa taking second place in these EU brackets. Iceman taking third, and Rafa coming back in from a very, very pleasant break and nestling in a very comfy and delightful fourth place. Shoutouts as well to the remainder of the participants in this bracket: Grimwood, Replicant, Defer, and Maxu. With that said and done, that will be the end of this tournament, or at least the EU side. Stay tuned as the NA side will be coming up shortly. Well, not shortly, it won't be for a while, but it's coming up. Kat, thank you for joining me. If people thought you were maybe pretty cool or pretty interesting, where would they be able to find more of you?
My Twitter is on screen, which is @localnerd, but with a double L at the end and a double D at the end. And on my Twitter, I just post art and basically complain about stuff.
It's a beautiful life. It's a wonderful one. You can always find me on flow_Malieve on Twitter. Generally, if you search up Malieve anywhere, you'll probably find stuff. I do streaming of my own. That'll show up on the Twitter. I've got my own little Discord community. If you do support my Twitch channel, I am actually pretty close to getting a 4th emote. So, actually no, that's a 5th emote, because I've got 2 tier 1s. I might get a 3rd. So any support on that regard would be greatly appreciated. And of course, you could always support FellowsTV, this channel right here. Be sure to follow. Yeah, you can plug the Flourish Discord in here as well, I guess. That depends on Defer's opinion, because it's his channel. But yeah, you can follow this stream. Be sure to subscribe, help them out. They do have a YouTube channel and everything where that documentary is, if you're interested in checking that out, which I strongly recommend doing so. That is everything, though. So, with further to do, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Ciao!
Bye-bye!